All right, so we've just seen how to set up the kit. Now we're going to look at how to sit at the kit. We're going to be talking about our posture. I've already alluded to a couple of elements of that. So how to sit, how to get correct posture, thinking about ergonomics. That's all to do with comfort and efficiency whenever we're playing the kit. And I think this is going to be quite short because actually the one issue that I have with young drummers is sometimes they will just simply slouch. They'll slouch at the kit and they'll sit and play like this here. All right. And whereas that's not a bad little pattern to be playing if you're an absolute beginner. But what I want you to do is to get used to sitting correctly so that you can progress, develop better technique, better stick control, and develop as a player. And if you think about it, once we've got our kit set up correctly, hopefully that's going to be a major step forward to help us to sit at our kit and play properly. All right? So I'd like to think that is the case. So in part one, we talked about setting up the kit. When we're sitting at the kit, as I've just said, the last thing you want to do is slouch and go way down. Now, here's the thing. It's really hard to sit bolt upright. I don't think anybody could do that. Some of the gigs that I've had to do in the past have lasted for 2.5 hours. I could not sit bolt upright, and I wouldn't expect anybody else to be sitting bolt upright when they're playing for that length of time. So we don't want to sit bolt upright, but neither do we want to slouch and go really low on the kit, because then that affects the way that we're going to play. Now, in part one, I talked about sitting at the kit whenever we were setting the snare drum up, and we want the snare drum, as it were, between our knees, like that, and the angle that our legs are going to be at. What I try to do if I'm on the bigger kit, with this one, with it being a little bit smaller, my legs tend to be a bit straighter that way, but what I like to do is to have them just at a very slight angle. So that's going to affect the stool height and how high I put the stool, okay? So you're at a slight angle. Then that's going to affect the way that you sit. And as I said, we don't want to slouch. We don't want to go down like this. And we want to get ourselves nice and comfortable. And once we've got that, once we've got our the heights of the drums right, hopefully that's us ready to go. Just one last thing that we're going to talk about whenever we're talking about playing the hi-hat. I do this again with all my beginner students. And that is, if we play with the bead, watch what happens. Okay, so the bead, beginner level, foundation level students, is the tip of the stick. If I make my little seesaw there, okay, I'm going to pretend I've got a pin going through my thumb through the stick and out the other side. That's my seesaw. I'm going to cradle with those 3 fingers there nice and lightly, as if I was holding a little pet mouse or a gerbil or something. Like, you don't want to crush it, okay? So you're holding it gently. It's going to move around in your hand. And then turn, okay? So this is a very quick introduction to what we call the Germanic grip, or what rock drummers call palm down, okay? So if I'm playing palm down and I throw the stick, the bead, to the hi-hat, watch what happens. Bounces. See that? I'm not pulling that up. That is bouncing of its own accord. Now, this is going to be in another lesson, okay? So I'm not going to get into that just too much, but it's just to let you see, all right? Play with the bead, the stick bounces. If I throw the stick to the hi-hat with the neck of the shoulder, it's not much of a bounce. All the energy that you're using is gone, okay? So if you think about it, you're throwing the stick down, then you're pulling it back, and then you're throwing it again. And you might be thinking to yourself, so what? Yeah, I'm playing drums. Again, if you've got to do a 2.5 hour gig, full-on gig where you're sweating after the first couple of songs and you know you got another 2.25 hours to go or thereabouts, you'll be thinking of all the ways to help you get through and all the techniques, okay? So again, that's another good reason to move from this. If you do that, not saying you do, but to move from that to that, okay? From using the neck or the shoulder to using the bead, all right? So that's just another aspect to that. So if you're in doubt as to whether you're slouching or whether you're sitting sort of correctly, here's a way that I have seen works all the time. Whenever I'm teaching in school, I set up the kit, and if I have a student that comes in and they start to play like this, yeah, giving me a good solid rock beat, that's fine. Good solid rock beat, but they're playing with the neck or the shoulder of the stick, and I say to them, can you play that rhythm again, but can you move from playing from the neck or the shoulder of the stick to using the bead? In other words, the tip of the stick, using the bead. And all the time, whenever they go to do that, their whole body moves. All right? If you're playing like this, there's where the stick is. There's where you are in a, let's call it a slight slouch, okay? But if you move to play with the bead, all right, your whole body kind of moves, and then, all right, I know it doesn't sound like rock or the way that you might be hearing the drums being played on record, okay? And don't get me wrong, if you were to come to see me play at a gig, I would be playing some of the songs like that, but I would be playing an awful lot of songs using the bead, okay? And one of the things that I say to all my foundation level, beginner level students is when you're practicing, try to practice using the bead. It will affect your posture. You'll go from this to this, okay? A little bit more upright. It's also a sweeter sound. Closed sound as opposed to that. And I'll come to another element to do with that in just a second. But that helps when you go from there to there. Now, again, don't get me wrong. There's going to be times whenever you want to play, and even open the hi-hats and get a bit more rocky on it. That's fine, okay? So we're not saying that you're never, ever going to play like that. This is for practice purposes. This is for posture purposes. This is to get you into the right posture to practice, okay? And in fact, you got to remember that if you only ever practice like this, later on, whenever you have a piece and you need to have a bit of control on the hi-hat, and you need to use the bead, you might find that a bit tricky because you've never practiced that way before. So it's using a particular method, yes, using the bead to help your posture, but it'll also re-emphasize the idea of not slouching behind the kit. Okay, I think we've said enough about that. Okay, so the two parts there we've looked at: how to set up the kit. Yeah, how to sit as well, but how to set up the kit and a few tips there on basic setup for beginners. And then how to sit at the kit, the posture. Hopefully you like that. Hopefully you found that helpful. Hopefully it didn't go on too long, but those are key things that you want to learn whenever you're a beginner. Apply them to your practice. Get your kit set up in the way that's going to be the most ergonomic, the easiest and efficient and comfortable way to play, and it'll help your practice. Okay, if you like that, I'd be grateful for a thumbs up. Any other questions, certainly channel members, feel free to get back to me. I am going to develop this a little bit further, and we're going to think about that hi-hat technique. We're also going to think about the next one in this little series is going to be about the beginners, some of the problems that they have, and some of the things that they do that they want to try and tidy up in their practice, and again, to build a good foundation as they move forward in their practice and in your practice, okay? So, be grateful for a thumbs up. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye. Hi drummers, it's Alan here. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Plus, hit the links to become a Belfast Drum Channel member and get access to extra full graded lessons up to the professional level. Thanks so much again, and bye for now.